You're probably thinking, how do I hire top closers and setters that actually close? Now, by the end of this video, you should know exactly how to do that and how to automate sales scaling predictably. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, my name's Tom Hyder. I run a company called Systemized Scaling, a sales recruitment and training company where we help coaches, consultants, and service-based business owners hire, train, and place closers and setters into their business, allowing them to get off sales calls, not have to focus all the time on sales, replace themselves as a founder, and stop them from hiring endless closers that don't perform and leave their offer. Now, I want to go through why most coaches stay stuck and stay in this endless cycle of taking sales calls or struggling to actually hire good quality closers. Main reason being is because they're losing out on cash because they don't have the right sales process. They don't know where and how to find talented closers. They're potentially dealing with no-shows, unqualified leads, and objections all the time, and their closers underperform and leave. As opposed to the top 10% of coaches, consultants, service-based businesses who have a fully trained closer taking sales calls, they have a strong sales process, they can attract and retain top-tier talent, and they have the right vehicle for the driver, aka the sales process. Now, just before I actually go into this process, this is the exact process that allowed Joel to close a 10K deal without even being on the sales call, having a closer replace them and do it for him. Simple as that. I want to show you about 30 seconds about me to show you that this process is legit. Now, I started in door-to-door sales as a sales rep. I was doing 14-hour days in the cold in England, knocking on doors all day. It was awful. I learned a lot in the process though. And then I went on after a year building and managing a sales team of around 19 people, hiring and training hundreds in the process. Now I learned a lot about how to keep sales reps, how to fire sales reps, how to hire them, how to train them, how not to train them. And then I took all my skills to the online high ticket space where I started working with a 500K a month company, a guy called Bastian Slot. Essentially where I learned all the sales process, how to manage the team, how to run it. Then I took all of my learnings to another company called Club Closer. The company was doing about 40K a month at the time, and I helped the company get to around 140K a month, collecting 1.2 million in cash in 12 months for the business. Now in the process, I learned from a lot of mentors. Eli Wild, the sales rep of Tony Robbins, Paul Daly, the ex-CEO of Imangaji, David Dre, Rabbi Avavala, William Brown, there is my head. Now after this process, I pretty much I've been inside the sales process of multiple 7- and 8-figure coaching companies as a closer and team lead. And I learned what they were doing right and what they were doing wrong as well. And I came up with a framework. This framework pretty much allowed coaches, consultants, business owners to have their booked sales calls qualified with most objections pre-handled, increase their closing rate to around 30 to 50% consistently, and replace them with a trained closer, giving them founder freedom. Now, the same process allowed me to achieve a closing rate of 58% and replace multiple founders with trained closers. This process is the fastest route to getting off sales calls and scaling past 50K to 100K a month. Now, I want you to see scaling sales teams and building your business as having a driver and a vehicle. Two components. The driver is the closer, the vehicle is the sales process. Now, what I've seen in this market is a lot of people obsess and focus on finding the closer first. They focus on finding a top tier closer thinking it's going to fix their business. It's going to be the thing that gets their business to 100K a month, whatever. But this is actually the opposite. They don't focus on the vehicle first. And what this does is two main things. First one is closers are going to leave quickly to find a new offer because they can't earn the money they want to earn on your offer. And the second one is they're going to be capped at a certain point, not able to actually perform. Think about it this way. A top tier driver or closer, however expert or skilled they are, they can only drive at 80 miles per hour in this. So however good they are, they can only use 80 miles per hour worth of skills as opposed to 200 miles per hour. So you could probably see how they're being capped. This is another way of saying that you're building a house on a foundation of sand and not on concrete. This is not what you want to be doing. It's a no-no. Now, what you really want to be doing is focus on the vehicle first. Focus on building your sales process into a top tier vehicle so you can attract a ton of these closers so that closers can jump into your vehicle, drive easily and perform, as opposed to closers coming on, being fired, coming on, underperforming, coming on and leaving, that endless cycle. And this is really important because the business owner typically has the highest close rate due to something called the founder syndrome, where it doesn't really matter what they do because they have the social proof, If they close at 20 to 25%, the closer is going to close at less at 10 to 15%. That is why it's so important to focus on the vehicle first instead of the closer. Okay. So you guys probably know why it's important to focus on the sales process first, but you're probably thinking, yes, this is nice, but how do I build this vehicle? First thing we need to tackle is the founder syndrome. The founder can pretty much get away with anything, like I said, because they have the social proof, but the closer can't. That's why we need to focus on a selling process. We need to focus on, first of all, coming across with a compelling pitch that is easy to understand. A lot of clients I've worked with, we've made a pitch for them, made it compelling and easy to understand, and it's almost double the close rate. So that alone can make sure a close rate really gets to consistent 30-50%. Another one is a consistent selling process, questions to ask to make sure prospects close themselves, and a process that every single close that comes on board can actually follow. Next one is objection handling content to make sure leads are showing up warm and qualified, and to make sure the show rate is dialed in so it's no less than 70%. Last one is follow-up and revenue maximization. When I was a closer, 30 to 40% of all of my income came from follow-up, meaning that if a business doesn't have a follow-up process in their business, in their vehicle, then they're missing out on at least 30% on monthly cash. This is the first part of what we work with our clients, and it's the build phase, right? We build them the vehicle, okay? And this allows them to have the vehicle ready for a closer. But what's the next issue? The next issue is finding a good quality closer. You don't want a bad closer in your business. You want a good closer in your business. So next thing we focus on is a hiring pipeline. There's two different ways of hiring closers. You can hire in abundance, which means you hire with intelligence and you hire with precision and you focus on the right quality candidate. You don't have to just pick off one person, versus hiring with scarcity, which means you don't have that many closers to actually work with. You don't have that many closers that are actually good. And this is probably the number one most costly mistake a business owner can make, hiring out of scarcity. So every single client we work with, we focus on either building them an internal closer hiring pipeline that they can actually source from, or giving them access to our closer hiring pipeline with multiple closers in different industries so they can just pick for them. Now, just to pause straight away before I go into the next point, if you guys are interested in our team to build your vehicle into a top sales process for you, or have closers or setters hired in place for you, or to have me personally help train your sales reps up to KPIs, then book a call below where we can go over your situation and see actually how we can help. Worst case scenario, you come off the call with a bit of free value. And the second most costly mistake I see is onboarding. There's two instances when you hire a closer. One, a closer takes probably about 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even 8 weeks, 2 months to be able to actually get up to a decent closing rate because they have a really poor onboarding. They don't have set training. And the other instance is where a closer comes on board, they can hit the ground running. They have a set training manual that can be replaceable, that you can actually license from our business to train up your closers, and they can hit KPIs in a couple of weeks, meaning that you save thousands. Because if you have the first instance where it takes 1 to 2 months to actually get them up to KPI and ramp them up, it's probably going to cost you a lot of money. So it's really important to have the right onboarding. And then the last one is scale. We help clients pretty much build a data tracker, CRM, so they can diagnose every problem in their business. All of this is the best type of vehicle and sales process, which allows these businesses to be ready to scale and hit the ground running instead of just going through closers who aren't even ready to be placed. Now you're probably thinking, does this even work? And yeah, it's worked for countless people. For example, Ed, we restructured his pitch and built him a compelling pitch, and he closed a 12K pay in full, literally 1 hour after we helped him with it, which is pretty impressive. Joel, who runs a venture capital private equity coaching program, he replaced himself with a closer and he closed a 10K deal without even being on the call. His closer even placed it as well. He's closing 5K deals, 10K deals, 4K deals with a replaced closer. And he's actually scaled from about 40K a month to 65K a month in cash collected in a month or so. Sebastian, who collected 110K in cash for the B2B offer he was selling, and he's replaced himself with a closer with his high ticket closing coaching business. Ali, he runs a paid marketing and ad service. He pretty much replaced himself with a closer and appointment setter. And he went on to collecting 30K, big ones, in 2 weeks from the triage script and the sales script. We made him and his clients, replacing him as well. Another one, we've got Cameron, who pretty much sells a trading coaching offer. He closed 30K pounds in deals in a week just from going over his sales process and really giving him the training he needs. And last to say, Club Closer, who we helped go from 40K a month, collecting 1.2 million in sales in 12 months. Now, this all works. And just to back all of this up, we get it. You've worked with loads of closers in the past, or you don't know if closers are going to work. So we operate on a completely risk-free basis, meaning we guarantee that if the closer or setter placed doesn't perform, you simply don't pay. So it's as simple as that. There is no risk whatsoever to working with us. Now, just to go over who this isn't for and who this is for, anyone under 10K a month, it's probably not for you. Founders who don't have at least 10 sales calls a week, it's probably not going to work. And people looking to just hire a closer and hope for the best, this is definitely not for you. Now, who this is for is founders who are ready to replace themselves in the right way in sales, who have consistent lead flow above 10K a month and who want freedom in their business. Now, if you're still here, you're likely looking for a simple way to stop taking sales calls all day and scale your high ticket business. Have qualified, pre-handled leads showing up to your sales calls, build a business that works without you having to even be there, and scale to 50 to 100K a month without going through tons of sales reps. Now, if this is you, and if you are still here and you want more details on how we can build your vehicle, build your sales process, hire and train sales reps into your business, book a call below in the description or message me the word hire. We can have a conversation on what's going to work with you the best on Instagram. The worst case scenario, this is literally the worst case scenario, is we're not a good fit. You get some free help on the call, you can implement it yourself, and you can scale your business yourself. That's the worst case scenario. So I urge you, book a call below to see if we can actually help you. Like I said, worst case scenarios, you get some free advice, and we just go from there. Hope this helps, and look forward to potentially seeing you inside.